Imagine a single individual rising from obscurity who reshaped the world map more profoundly than perhaps anyone else. A man whose name alone struck terror into the hearts of empires. He was a force of nature, a strategic genius, and a harbinger of unprecedented destruction. This is the story of Genghis Khan. How did he, a man born into hardship, unite warring tribes to create the largest contiguous empire in history? How did his conquests lead to the estimated deaths of 40 to 50 million people? And why, after all this, does the world's greatest conqueror remain in an unmarked, unknown grave, his final resting place shrouded in mystery? Our story begins in the vast, unforgiving grasslands of Mongolia, around 1162. Temujin, as he was then known, was born into a fractured world of constantly warring nomadic tribes. His early life was a crucible of hardship. His father, a minor chieftain, was poisoned when Temujin was just 9. His family was abandoned, left to fend for themselves, facing starvation and betrayal. This brutal upbringing instilled in Temujin a fierce resilience and an acute understanding of power dynamics. He experienced betrayal, capture, and even enslavement, but through sheer will, charisma, and a strategic mind, he began to gather a loyal following. He understood that unity was strength, and he offered a vision of a stable, prosperous Mongolia under a single, strong ruler. Through a series of brutal yet often brilliant campaigns and shifting alliances, Temujin systematically defeated and integrated rival tribes. In 1206, at a great assembly called a Kurultai, he was formally proclaimed Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. The loose collection of Mongol tribes had been forged into a disciplined, unified nation, ready to unleash its power upon the world. With internal unity secured, Genghis Khan turned his gaze outwards. His armies were unlike any the world had ever seen. They were masters of horseback warfare, incredibly mobile, and possessed an iron discipline. Their composite bows could pierce armor at astonishing distances, and their communication network, relying on fast riders and signal fires, allowed for unprecedented coordination across vast territories. The Mongols swept across Eurasia with terrifying efficiency. Their first major targets included the Western Xia and Jin dynasties in northern China, then westward into Central Asia and the powerful Khwarezmian Empire. Cities that resisted faced total annihilation. Merv, Nishapur, Samarkand, names that once symbolized centers of learning and trade, became synonymous with massacre. The scale of the destruction was immense. Historians estimate that the Mongol conquests, spanning the early 13th century and continuing under Genghis Khan's successors, led to the deaths of 40 to 50 million people. To put that into perspective, this could have been over 10% of the world's population at the time. In Persia alone, the population may have plummeted by as much as 90% in some regions due to direct killings, famine, and the destruction of vital irrigation systems. China, a vastly populated empire, saw its numbers dramatically reduced from potentially 120 million before the invasions to around 60 million in later censuses. While some of this decline might be due to imperfect record-keeping, the human cost was undeniably staggering. Why were the Mongols so brutal? It wasn't simply wanton cruelty. Their ruthlessness was a calculated, terrifying component of their military strategy. Terror as a weapon. The Mongols understood that fear could break an enemy's will before the first arrow was fired. News of their brutality spread like wildfire, often leading cities to surrender without a fight, saving the Mongols valuable time and resources. No half measures for resistance. If a city or region dared to resist, the Mongols would show no mercy. This served as a chilling example to others. Every soldier in a conquering unit might be tasked with executing a certain number of the defeated population, a systematic approach to breaking spirits and eliminating future threats. Revenge and retribution. The Mongols were fiercely loyal and sought extreme retribution for any perceived affronts, especially the killing of their envoys or family members. Nomadic mentality. For nomadic peoples, settled agrarian societies were often seen as sources of wealth to be plundered. Their lifestyle, focused on survival in harsh environments, could foster a pragmatic, uncompromising approach to warfare. A universal destiny. Genghis Khan and his followers believed they had a divine mandate from the eternal sky, Tengri, to rule the entire world. This deeply held spiritual conviction fueled their relentless expansion and justified the elimination of those who stood in their path. Genghis Khan died in 1227, likely during a campaign against the Western Xia. But unlike other great conquerors whose burial sites are known and revered, the final resting place of Genghis Khan remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Legend has it that his funeral procession was an extraordinary affair shrouded in absolute secrecy. Accounts suggest the killings along the way. Anyone encountered by the funeral procession was reportedly killed to prevent them from revealing the route, the Thousand Horsemen. After the burial, 1,000 horses were ridden over the grave site repeatedly to obliterate any trace, making it indistinguishable from the surrounding steppe. The diverted river. Some legends even claim a river was temporarily diverted. The burial took place in its bed, and then the river was returned to its course, burying the Khan underwater. The self-sacrifice of the guards. The soldiers who buried him were themselves said to have been executed by an even larger group of soldiers, who were then also eliminated, ensuring no one could ever betray the secret. The most widely accepted theory places his tomb somewhere near the sacred mountain of Burkhan Khaldun in the Khenti province of Mongolia, a place he held dear and declared most sacred. This area was later declared Ikh Korig, or the Great Taboo, a forbidden zone guarded for centuries, accessible only to a select few of the Khan's royal lineage. Why such secrecy? The reasons are likely a mix of practical and spiritual: to prevent desecration by enemies, to protect the vast treasures undoubtedly buried with him, and to preserve the spiritual power of the Khan's final resting place, perhaps believing that disturbing it could unleash ill fortune. The Mongolian people today largely respect this ancient taboo, preferring his final resting place remain undisturbed. Genghis Khan, the fierce orphan who unified a nation and built an empire of unprecedented scale. His brutal conquests left a trail of immense death and destruction, forever altering the course of human history. Yet, despite his monumental impact, the earth holds his ultimate secret, leaving us to wonder about the hidden grave of the universal ruler. What are your thoughts on Genghis Khan's legacy? Do you think his tomb will ever be found? Share your theories in the comments below. If you found this journey into history captivating, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more untold stories of the past.